Welcome to the MoFPS Coffee and Conversations, where we share the experiences of our public servants as they navigate a life of service. On this season of Coffee and Conversations, the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service took several sips of coffee with civil servants who are navigating the areas of health, education, and exemplary service. Let's take a look back. Andreen, how have you benefited though from being a civil servant?
I benefit from being a civil servant every day I turn up for work. You see, being in the civil service is an opportunity to learn every day. I am mentored, I get opportunities to serve the people of Jamaica, and that really makes me happy. My job takes me sometimes to the communities, so I have an opportunity to interact with the people on the ground, and that of course gives us information, and we put that back into our programming as we serve the people. So that's exciting for me.
There are a number of issues that will have to be worked through. First of all, paternity leave doesn't have to be granted at the same time as maternity leave.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, if they are granted consecutively, then it certainly provides more benefit to the family and to the child. So in the time, in whatever time frame is determined, that you do your checks and balances, whether you have DNA checks, whether you check the validity of an adoption, etc. There will be time to do all of that, and then possibly when the mother is returning to work, the father would take on the role of nurturing that child for whatever period the policymakers determine.
Okay. Last year, the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service facilitated over 20 scholarship opportunities to public servants for studies in over 5 countries, even as far as Korea.
My degree is a professional degree, a professional level. By comparison to the curriculum here, and in some places in the West, it would be a master's level degree, right? So it's the equivalent of a master's in some instances. So I completed a 6-year program in 5 years. I studied in architecture with specialty in architectural construction and design. As an architect, there's a lot that needs to be done concerning the advancement of infrastructure here in Jamaica. So, I would put some emphasis on that in terms of contributing. And in terms of, from the artistic perspective of my education, to, of course, influence a type of architecture that will dictate the sort of beauty I believe Kingston can engender in the next 50 years.
Okay, so my first degree was in mechanical engineering. I did a specialty in fluid distribution, basically pumps, moving fluid through pipes, vessels and stuff like that. And then my master's was in civil engineering on the same line of water distribution and treatment. Most of my jobs coming back from Cuba has been in the water sector and a little bit in the construction sector. But so I've been doing what my passion is, and I've been giving back. I used to teach part-time at CMU and at Hart, kind of molding the minds of young aspiring engineers and stuff like that. So that is my contribution from what I've learned overseas to take it back here.
Listen up. Children's voices matter. The Ministry of Finance and the Public Service team visited the Almontown Primary School to read with students, and they were not afraid to let us know that they are enough. MoFPS Social Media Specialist Camille Sinclair and Customer Care Officer Shanice Morris read to students in celebration of Read Across Jamaica Day and Child's Month.
At the next house, they met Mr. and Mrs. Miller, a drenched, dripping duet. The two of them were standing in a puddle of water. Look at that. So water had actually gotten into their house, in their basement. Marley, Axel, and Zane helped to bail water out of their basement. The Millers happily gave them 3 bright umbrellas plus a hat. So how many umbrellas them have now? Them get 2 first and now them get 3. Nice. You bright man. Everybody know the song? Listen now. Don't worry about a thing. Come guys, when they're not playing the instruments, cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Saying don't worry about a thing. Hey, cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Great guys, thank you, clap yourselves.
Are you stressed at work? According to the World Health Organization, work-related stress can be caused by poor work organization, poor work design, poor management, unsatisfactory working conditions, and lack of support from colleagues and supervisors.
You need to go back in history and to see there's a thing called a trigger.
Yes, what triggers you?
Yeah, absolutely. And if you can identify your triggers, you can really and truly deal with most of the stress that affects you. So the first thing is do the history. The second one is don't ignore your emotions. Own it, feel it, and then accept that that is there. The third thing that I would say is change your mindset. There are situations in which you have to behave in a way that maybe you don't want to. Understand that you are in control of your emotions. One of them is to insert fun, joy. It takes away that animosity, that feeling of anger or helplessness. All of that is taken away because I have now cast you in an amusing role, a role that's fun like.
A breast cancer diagnosis can be devastating, but with treatment options and support, many Jamaicans have survived, and today we meet one of them.
I get 22 chemo treatments.
Wow.
And I start my chemo, Miss Mackenzie always follow me up.
That's the past day of it.
Yes, and she ever prayed for me, she ever talked to me, she gave me counseling, she was just like a mother to me, she didn't leave me out.
Yeah.
And as such, I tell her, I always care about my report to she, copy it, copy to the doctor, keep back a copy for myself. And me tell her, I say, whatever the biopsy do, it come back, it's stage 1 cancer. So she said, okay, she know me gonna need the chemo. So she sent me for a doctor report, a medical report. I went for it, I get it, I took it back. And she do an email and send it off to Chase. She and the next lady in the ministry put together and they email Chase about my health. And so the help coming from them.
What do you know about lupus disease? According to the Lupus Foundation of America, lupus is a chronic autoimmune disease that can damage any part of the body, whether it is the skin, joints, kidneys, blood cells, brain, heart, and lungs. How has the ministry been helping you?
Okay, so being at the ministry for all this time, my entire working life actually, I have been supported mostly through the time that I'm given to attend to my appointments. Now, between lupus, fibromyalgia, Sjogren's, asthma, I see several physicians and at different institutions. And so I am required to attend to a lot of medical appointments. So like rheumatology, I have to go every 3 months. To see the ENT, I have to see a physiotherapist, I have to see an eye doctor, I have to go to a pulmonologist.
Whoa.
So with all these medical appointments, these don't happen on Saturdays and Sundays, and it happens during work hours. And I am given that time off to attend to all my medical needs. Where physiotherapy is concerned, there were times when I'd have to be out of work for hours to attend to physiotherapy. There was even a time when I'd leave physiotherapy and it was required for me to sleep for an hour in the day because I get no rest at all.
And the ministry facilitated.
And the ministry facilitated that. And I know in years to come, if this disease still plagues me, I will have the support of the ministry if I should remain there. And I really appreciate it.
We thank you for tuning in to this episode of MoFPS Coffee and Conversations. We aim to share the experiences of public servants as they navigate a life of service. Real people, real stories. If you haven't checked us out yet or been following us on social media, be sure to do so. We are on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and now LinkedIn. Search for MOF Jamaica or the Ministry of Finance Jamaica. Until next time, I am your host, Shaquille Rochester Shorter.